It was a rainy autumn afternoon in the city of Florence, where the streets echoed with soft footsteps and distant violin melodies. Eva, a bright-spirited 21-year-old with a passion for photography, stood under a cafe awning, shielding her camera from the downpour. Her heart was healing from past heartbreak, and she had sworn she'd stay away from love, for a while at least. That's when James appeared. He was 23, with dark eyes that held secrets and a calm strength that made Eva's breath catch. Drenched and laughing, he ducked under the same awning. "Mind if I share your shelter?" he asked, flashing a crooked grin. From that moment, something unspoken sparked between them. They began to meet often. Sunsets by the Arno, long walks in hidden alleys, spontaneous poetry under street lamps. James had layers. He was kind, gentle with her heart, but Eva knew he was carrying something heavy. One evening, as they sat under a silver moon, Eva asked, "Why do you always look like you're running from something?" James was quiet for a long time before replying, "Because I am." As their love blossomed, Eva discovered the truth. James had a past he'd never spoken of. A family torn apart by betrayal. A father imprisoned for crimes James had been accused of committing. He had run to Florence to escape the shadows, and to start over. But the past was catching up. Eva's phone buzzed with an unknown number. A message flashed across the screen. "He's not who you think he is. Stay away from James before it's too late." Her hands trembled. Eva confronted James. Tears streamed down her face as she held the phone up. "Why didn't you tell me? I wanted to. I wanted you to love me without the weight of who I was," he whispered, voice breaking. She stepped back, heart torn. Could she trust him? Or was their entire love built on lies? Just as Eva was pulling away, James disappeared. Vanished. No messages. No goodbye. Days turned to weeks. Then, one night, Eva found a letter slipped under her door. "I had to go. To protect you. They're watching me. But if love is real, if you believe in us, wait for me. Just once more. Meet me at the place where we first met." On the day it all began, Eva stood under the cafe awning on another rainy afternoon. Exactly 1 year later. Her heart beat like thunder. Minutes passed. Hours. Then she saw him. Bruised. Tired. Alive. James. He ran to her, soaked and breathless, collapsing into her arms. "I cleared my name. I fought for us." Eva kissed him, not caring about the rain or the past. Only the future. They left Florence together. Built a new life. One of love forged in fire, trust tested by storms, and a bond that no lie could ever break. Because some love stories don't just survive the chaos. They are born from it. James and Eva moved to a quiet village by the sea in southern Spain. Mornings were slow, filled with the scent of coffee and the salty breeze from the water. But peace never lasts when your past is unfinished. James would wake up in a cold sweat, haunted by the prison where his father still sat, wrongly accused. He never told Eva what he overheard before leaving Florence. Someone had framed them both, and that someone might be watching again. Eva noticed the fear behind his eyes. You're here. But a part of you is still fighting something, isn't it? James only nodded. He couldn't bear to tell her everything. Not yet. One afternoon while James was out, Eva heard a knock at the door. It was a woman, elegant, icy, and far too familiar with James. "I'm Elena," she said, smiling like a threat. "James and I were once very close." Eva's world tilted. "He didn't tell you," Elena continued, "that I was the one who gave the testimony that helped put his father behind bars, and that I warned him to stay away from you." She handed Eva a file. Inside were documents, photos, evidence, things James had never shared. When James returned, he saw the file open on the table. Eva sat on the floor, eyes red, hands shaking. "Who is she, James? What else haven't you told me?" James dropped to his knees in front of her. "I didn't tell you because I was afraid. Afraid you'd leave. Afraid it would destroy what we built. But lies destroy more than truth ever could," Eva whispered. James lowered his head. "You're right." He finally opened up about everything. About Elena's manipulation. About the man who blackmailed his father. About the coded journal his father left behind. The one James still couldn't decipher. Eva stood in silence. Then she reached for his hand. "We find the truth together. No more hiding." Days turned into restless nights as they pieced together clues from the journal. It was encrypted, filled with symbols and strange dates. But Eva noticed something. Each symbol matched photos James had taken years ago. Landscapes, statues, a bridge in Venice. "It's a trail," she said. "A map." The journal led them across Europe, retracing the steps of James's father, a brilliant but quiet man who left breadcrumbs for the one person he trusted. His son. But they weren't the only ones following the trail. In Venice, Eva and James arrived at the final location, an abandoned library hidden behind a crumbling church. Inside, they found a safe containing the truth, recordings, documents, and proof that would exonerate James's father and expose the criminal network that framed them. But as they celebrated, a cold voice echoed from the shadows. "Well done," Elena said, stepping out with two armed men. "But this is where your story ends." Eva instinctively stepped in front of James. "You'll have to go through me." Fight broke out. Kiss. Shattered glass. Fire. James grabbed Eva and ran through a broken window as the building caught flame. Sirens wailed. Elena vanished into the smoke. Back in Spain, the evidence was turned over to authorities. It made international news. James's father was released, the truth finally free. But Eva was never the same. She had risked everything for love, for truth, and the scars of it all lingered. One night, as the sea whispered against the shore, James held her close. "Would you do it all again?" he asked softly. Eva looked up, eyes glistening. "Yes, because even in the fire, you never let go of me." They got married in the village where they healed. No grand ceremony. Just them, barefoot on the beach, vows written from the heart. James whispered, "I don't promise perfection, but I promise you all of me." Eva smiled. "And I promise never to run from the fire, if you're holding my hand." A year passed since their wedding. Life was quiet, soft and safe. Eva had taken up writing full-time, turning their story into a novel. James opened a little photography studio, capturing sunsets and laughter. But shadows don't fade forever. One morning, Eva received a letter with no return address. Just one line inside. "Did you ever wonder who helped James escape that fire?" Her heart skipped. She brought the letter to James, who went pale. He hadn't told her. But in Venice, during the chaos, someone, masked and unnamed, had pulled him out of the burning building. "I never saw their face," he whispered. "But I always thought maybe it was my father. Or a friend." More letters followed, each one hinting at a deeper conspiracy. One included a photo, Eva and James walking on their wedding day, taken from afar. Recently, they were being watched. Through their investigation, one name kept surfacing, the Rook. Not a person. Code name. Someone operating in the shadows, connected to Elena, connected to James's father's case, and now connected to them. James reached out to an old contact from Florence, someone who owed him a life debt. Luca, a brilliant hacker with a cigarette always perched behind one ear. Luca agreed to help. Within hours, he traced the IP address of the emails to London. "We go," Eva said, no hesitation. In London, things spiraled fast. James and Eva were followed. Their hotel room was searched. And Luca vanished on the second day. They found a chess piece, a rook, on his pillow. It was a message. Eva began to panic. The fear crept in again, whispering doubts. "What if we don't get out this time, James?" James took her hands. "Then we fall together. But I swear to you, I'll fight until my last breath to keep you safe." A contact of Luca's reached out, a woman named Talia. She handed Eva a flash drive before disappearing into the night. On it, a secret recording of Elena alive, working with someone else, plotting a new operation that involved more than just James's family. The target, Eva. Why? The recording revealed something shocking. Eva's father, whom she believed had died in a car crash when she was 7, had once been part of the same intelligence circle as James's father. He had gone missing on purpose, to protect a secret. And now someone believed Eva knew where he was. But she didn't. Or did she? That night, Eva had a dream. Her father holding her hand, whispering something while tucking a necklace into her coat pocket. She hadn't thought about that necklace in years. Frantically, she dug through her old belongings. In a small velvet pouch at the bottom of her backpack, she found it. Inside the locket was a tiny hidden key, and engraved beneath it, in her father's handwriting, "Tell James the First forgive him." James stared at the inscription like he'd seen a ghost. "I knew your father," he said, voice cracking. "He saved me once. When I was just a kid." They followed the trail to a secret vault in an abandoned London Underground station. Using the key, they unlocked a box containing everything: the true identities of the people who betrayed their families, evidence of government-level corruption, and coordinates to a cabin in the Scottish Highlands. As they left the station, a firebomb detonated behind them. They barely escaped, but they had what they needed. One last journey. They found it at the edge of a frozen lake. The cabin was simple, but there was a warmth to it. Inside, by the fireplace, sat a man with graying hair and familiar eyes. "Eva," he said softly. She dropped to her knees. "Dad." "Here's answers. Closure." Her father explained how he faked his death to protect Eva and James's father. How Elena was once part of their circle, until she betrayed them for power. How the Rook was a ghost project, built on surveillance, manipulation, and fear. And now that the truth was out, they weren't safe. But Eva and James had a choice: run forever, or burn it all down. With help from her father and Luca, who had survived, they launched a leak to the press, exposing everything. Files. Recordings. The world exploded. Elena was arrested. And the Rook disappeared like smoke. Eva and James were offered protection, new identities, a life in peace at last. They moved to a small island in the Aegean Sea. Quiet. Isolated. No phones. No chaos. Just each other. One evening, as the sun painted the sky gold, Eva whispered, "We've been through everything. Fire. Fear. Lies." James smiled, pulling her close. "And yet, I still fall in love with you every damn day." Eva pressed her forehead to his. "If we had to do it all again, I would. For you. Always for you." 2 years had passed. Eva and James lived quietly on a hidden Aegean island. They had created a haven, just the two of them, free from secrets, free from the world. Or so they thought. One night, a storm rolled in. And with it, a letter, sealed with wax. No return address. Inside, a single black feather. And one sentence written in smudged ink. "You forgot about me." Eva and James returned to London to find Luca, hoping he could trace the message. But Luca was gone. Not missing, erased. His apartment, abandoned. His digital footprint wiped clean. Only one thing was left behind: a wall covered in photos. And at the center, a man they didn't recognize. Talia, their old ally, found them. She looked terrified. "That man," she whispered. "He calls himself the Revenant. He used to work with Elena, until even she feared him." James began to receive messages, video clips of Eva taken without her knowledge. The market, the beach, sleeping. "He's watching us," James said, gripping the phone with white knuckles. "And he wants something." Eva's heart pounded. Or someone. They weren't being hunted for what they had done. They were being hunted because of what they might still know. Elena, believed to be imprisoned, had vanished. Official reports claimed a prison transfer. But Talia leaked a classified photo. Lena, smiling, in Morocco, with the Revenant. Eva gasped. They're working together again. James clenched his fists. No. They're planning something worse. A message from Luca suddenly appeared, pre-scheduled in case of his disappearance. He had found coordinates beneath the Aegean Sea, marked with a name, Project Leviathan, a secret network of underwater data centers built to store stolen intelligence, blackmail files, and experimental weapon codes. And now the Revenant was trying to activate it, using James's father's voiceprint, which meant one thing. They needed his father's help again. They tracked down James's father, now living in the Carpathian Mountains under protection. When he heard the name Revenant, his face went cold. I thought he was dead, he said. We burned him. He was Elena's creation, a shadow without mercy. And now he's risen. He won't stop, James said. He wants us afraid. His father nodded grimly. Then give him fear. Eva and James knew this would be their most dangerous mission yet. But Eva looked at him, her hand against his chest. If we don't make it back, I need you to know I've already lived a lifetime with you. James kissed her forehead. We'll make it. We always do. They set sail toward the Leviathan site. Straight into the trap. The underwater base was real. Buried beneath a fortress in the Ionian Sea. Protected by mercenaries, lasers, and walls of secrets. Inside was a chamber with every piece of dirt on every government, spy, and agent in the world. And standing beside it, Lena, and the Revenant. He removed his mask. Eva's breath caught. He looked just like your brother, Elena said softly. James, meet the ghost your family buried. The Revenant was James's half-brother, a product of betrayal and hatred, raised in silence, trained in shadows. Fed by the lies James's father never told. I was the mistake, he hissed. And now, I'm the reckoning. Fight broke out. Explosions. Water rushing through collapsing tunnels. Eva nearly drowned. James was shot. But together they fought their way out, hand in hand, as Leviathan flooded and burned behind them. Elena disappeared again. The Revenant gone. But they had the hard drives. The world's darkest secrets. And another chance. Back on the island, as Eva tended to James's wounds, he whispered, I would have died for you. Eva shook her head, eyes full of tears. No more dying. Let's live now. Let's finally live. If you enjoy the story, please like, subscribe, and share.